of a thief. Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom, there lived a young man known far and wide, not by name, but by reputation. He was a thief, a clever, elusive one who never got caught, no matter how many times he stole. But beneath his skills and stealth, the young man carried a silent void in his heart. No matter how much gold or silver he stole, something always felt missing. He wasn't just running from guards. He was running from himself and from a life with no meaning. One day, while walking through a quiet forest, he met a kind and wise monk. There was something about the monk's calm presence that made the thief stop. He sat down, shared his story, and finally asked, "Master, is there anything at all, that could help me live a better life? I don't know how to stop being who I am." The monk looked at him gently and replied, "If you cannot stop stealing right now, then just do one thing. Treat every woman you meet as your mother, your sister, or your daughter. Respect them deeply and sincerely." The thief thought for a while. Then he nodded and said, "That I can do. I promise." From that day on, though he still walked the same paths and still stole under cover of night, he carried a new light inside him, a sacred principle. He would never again look at a woman with disrespect. No matter who she was, she would be treated as family. In the same kingdom, the king and queen had long struggled with sorrow. They had no children. Over the years, the king, frustrated and bitter, had grown distant from the queen. Eventually, he had her sent away to live in a palace deep in the forest, surrounded by guards, away from the world. She lived alone, in silence and isolation. One moonlit night, the young thief wandered near that secluded palace. The grand structure caught his eye. This must belong to someone wealthy, he thought. If I steal from here, perhaps I'll find real treasure. He had no idea it was the queen's residence. With his usual stealth, he slipped inside. The guards noticed movement and, following orders, rushed to inform the king. Curious, the king hurried to the scene himself and hid outside a window, determined to see the intruder with his own eyes. Inside, the thief moved quietly, looking for valuables. But the queen, awakened by a faint sound, rose from her bed. When she saw him, she did not scream. She stayed calm, her eyes steady. "I see. You've come here to steal, haven't you?" she asked softly. The thief froze. He had never been caught before, and now it was the queen herself. "Please," he begged, "don't call the guards. Don't tell the king I was here. I'll leave, I swear." The queen stared at him for a long moment. Then, in a quiet voice, she said, "I can protect you. I can even offer you gold and silver, but only if you fulfill one wish of mine." The thief, confused, asked, "What is your wish, your majesty?" She looked at him, eyes full of loneliness and years of abandonment, and whispered, "I have been left alone for so long. I'm still a woman with desires and needs. Just be with me once, and I will give you anything you ask." Silence filled the room. Then, deep within him, the monk's voice echoed, "See every woman as your mother or sister. Respect her." The young thief straightened. His eyes grew clear, his voice calm and steady. "You are like a mother to me. I made a promise to my master to treat every woman with honor. Please, ask me only what a son can do for his mother." The queen was stunned. Her eyes welled up with tears. In all her years of solitude, no one had ever spoken to her with such reverence. Outside, the king had seen and heard everything. He entered with his guards. The thief was arrested, but the king did not look angry. In fact, he looked moved. Back at the palace, the king summoned the thief. Instead of punishment, he said, "You had every reason to betray your promise. No one would have known, but you didn't. That speaks of strength you possess. I do not wish to punish you. Ask for anything at all." The thief humbly bowed. "Your Majesty, if you truly wish to grant me something, then please bring the queen back to palace. Restore her dignity. Let her live with the respect she deserves, not in exile." The king was silent. His pride hurt, yes, but deep down he saw the truth. If she made a mistake, he thought, I made a far greater one. I punish her not for what she did, but for what she could not do. Regret washed over him. That very day, the king rode to the forest palace himself. He held the queen's hand and said, "I was wrong. Please come home." Tears filled her eyes. She nodded and replied, "I will return, but I have one final request." The king asked, "What is it, my queen?" She turned to young man, the thief who had once knelt before her, and said, "This man called me mother and protected my dignity more than anyone ever has. We have no heir and time is passing. Let us adopt him as our son." The king paused, and then he looked at the young man. A thief, yes, but also a man of unshakable values, discipline, humility, and honor. He saw not just a boy, but a ruler in the making. And so the king declared, "From this day forth, let him be our son. Let him be the crown prince of this kingdom." In life, we all search for success, love, and meaning. But true transformation never begins with luck. It begins with a clear principle. This young man didn't suddenly become a prince. He chose a simple rule. I will respect every woman as if she were my mother or sister. It was a small promise, but he followed it with his whole heart. That one decision changed his fate forever. From thief to prince, not by sword, not by wealth, but by values. And so it is in our own lives. If you're a student, live with integrity. If you're a worker, choose honesty. If you're struggling, choose kindness. Even one principle, when lived consistently, brings clarity, strength, and direction. Because a life built on principles may take time to bloom, but when it does, it blossoms in a way even destiny cannot deny.